one of the objectives of having a business is to do what? It's to make money. Okay? A business that doesn't make money is not a healthy, thriving business. Okay? So, and a business's job is not just to make money, it's also to make money for whom? The owner of the business, for you. I know a lot of people that got into business and entrepreneurship for freedom, to become free, and ended up becoming a slave to their business. They hated their boss, so they quit their job. They became their own boss and realized they hated that boss even more than the other one. At least the other boss had to follow the law and give you a break, right? So it's not all about the money. Of course, as kingdom people, we don't pursue money. We don't chase money. As kingdom people, we just pursue becoming people of increasing value. And as we solve problems and add more value, we just unlock favor and resources, and money is attracted to you by solving more problems and adding more value. Does that make sense? Okay, so there's a lot of misguidance, misinformation in this financial conversation, and I'm going to just go after two things that I think are major. Then I'm going to have Rami come up and give you guys some real timely tactics right now. How many of you guys pay attention to the stock market at all? Okay, how many of you guys may have like an IRA, a 401k, a little bit of maybe, okay. Guys, the market is kind of going bananas right now. There's a lot of confusion and uncertainty. So I thought we would give you some practical stuff as to kind of our perspective as to kind of what's happening for some of you. Okay, then I'm going to come back and kind of close it up. So, but there's a lot of misinformation and misguidance about financial matters, both from the world and from the church. I don't think the loudest blaring messages around money coming from the world or the church are really all that great. They're okay, but they're not the best from my perspective. So I want to give you guys an upgrade today and give you a true kingdom revelation and mindset about how to think about money. And I'm going to go after two of what I think are the biggest misconceptions and misguidances out there. One from the secular world and one from more of the church context. Does that make sense? Okay. This came to me while I was napping an hour ago. So if you're like, wow, he looks a little better than this morning. Thank God. It was rough. Took a little nap on Dano's couch. Must have been Dano's office. All this revelation just came to me. So, what the world is getting people to think about and get us overly focused on is accumulation. Okay? The world wants us all obsessed with accumulation. Okay? I call that saving to save. They want you saving to save. Okay? Accumulate a bunch of money now, so when you get older, you can then live off that money. Okay? It's saving for saving's sakes. More is always better. And when you're accumulating, saving to save, what does most of the conventional wisdom and advice encourage you to accumulate and save with? Paper assets, liquid assets, right? Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, right? Okay. So the conventional advice coming from the world is, max out your 401k, max out your IRA, put a bunch of money away every single year into stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. If you do this for 30, 40 plus years, then you too one day could be happy and retire successfully. Okay? How many of you guys have heard that advice? How many of you guys have pretty much only heard that advice? Okay? So let me tell you some, and I think that's okay advice if you are an employee. If you are an employee and you feel called to serve at a company and you're okay doing this for about 30 plus years, because what accumulation is, it's an addition strategy, okay? It's addition. Say addition. It's addition. Accumulation is an addition strategy. But in the kingdom, we don't just get to do addition. The kingdom is all about what? Multiplication. If you're gonna play the addition game, it's gonna take you 30, 40 years. Okay? But the reason why you're getting all this advice is because there's a big industry called Wall Street in the investment industry that charges us fees on babysitting our money. Okay? This is a $1 trillion industry. And so, of course, all of the guidance and financial education, which is actually financial marketing, not education, is guiding us to just have us send them all their money, put our blind faith and trust and hope in them, while they charge us fees that most people have no idea how much they are. Okay? And basically be at the whim and mercy of whatever the market's going to do anyways. Okay? So accumulation, saving to save, is the predominant message. Doing it in risk-based accounts that have high fees, and this is what the world is offering as the best strategy. Let me tell you why this is not super kingdom. Okay? First of all, in the kingdom, we don't save to save. It's very risky saving to save, because if you save to save and you accumulate, what can end up happening is you can end up putting your trust and security in that nest egg. And the Bible warns about these things. Okay? So, well, Pedro, should I not save? No, of course you should save. But as kingdom people, we don't save to save. Okay? As kingdom people, we don't save to save. I want to encourage you that we should be saving to sow. I don't save just to save and accumulate. I'm saving because I know that if I want to multiply, I must first sow. The seed in your hand doesn't get multiplied. Seed in the barn doesn't get multiplied. A lot of people get confused because they see people storing their wealth in certain places, but that's not how they made their wealth. But Pedro, I know a lot of rich people that have big stock market portfolios. Yeah, why don't you ask them how they got that money in the first place? It wasn't in the market. It was through real estate. Or they built and sold their company, and now because they sold their real estate or sold their company, they have millions of dollars. They got to put it somewhere. So they got some fancy broker at one of those big fancy firms in a big fancy office with big fancy suits, and they got talked into putting all of it in the stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. And if you ask that guy, he'll tell you he was making way more money when he was doing it by himself. So don't get tricked by how people store their money to how they made their money. Okay? So as a kingdom entrepreneur, we save money so we have something to sow when the time and opportunity arises. Can I give you just a very super uber simple wealth plan for kingdom people? 1, find good soil. The parable of the sower, best I can tell, the seed was good seed. So if the seed was good seed, then the outcome of that sowing was all because of the quality and condition of the soil. So, some soil had nothing, right? The bird snatched. Some started to look good, and there was one soil that was good, and we know it produced what? 100, 60, 30 fold. Okay? So as kingdom people that want multiplication, step number 1 is be looking for good soil. Why do you think I give money to Iris? Why do you think I sow into Mama Heidi and Iris and Dr. Monroe and what they're doing? And it's amazing. I know these people. I've been to Africa. I've been in Mozambique. I know what I know what these people are doing. This is good soil. Every time I do something for Iris, I get blessed. So as kingdom people, it's simple. Like, where can I find good soil? So one of the things to be asking God for is the discernment. Give me eyes to discern and wisdom to discern really good soil from bad soil. Now, but unfortunately, a lot of people that we serve in our movement, I'm not sure where this comes from. I think I have some ideas. But what I have found to be true in my own life is, as much as I love investing in Iris and other amazing nonprofits, and I love sowing into these organizations that are fulfilling the call of God on their life, many of you have no problem doing that and supporting missionaries and giving to this and giving to that. But what happens is you have no problem honoring the call of God on someone else's life and make a donation into their ministry. And many of you are not honoring the call of God on your life and investing into yourself. So that doesn't make sense. As an entrepreneur, you are the asset. You are the best investment. I've made some good investments. None of them have outperformed what I can make with my own money. The world wants to tell you that you should make money with your money. I will tell you that's dumb. It's lazy. You should only try and make money with your money when you have so much money that it actually is worth it to pretty much take that much time to try and, it takes time to put money to work. It takes time to find good soil. Well, Pedro, what do you mean? Because billionaires have these things called family offices, where they have a team of attorneys and CPAs and people that all their job, 4, 5, 10 full-time people just scouring the globe looking for good soil. So if you have that much money, then yes, maybe you can take time to look for ways to keep your money gainfully employed. Most people that ask me questions about where should they go invest, I'm like, why are you talking about investing? I'm all, you got a couple million yet? They're like, no, are you kidding me? I got 10,000. I'm like, dude, you have $10,000. You're asking for a good investment and you're looking at it. It better be you. $10,000 is not money to invest in anything but you. Because even the best mutual fund that makes you 10% a year on $10,000, you made a whopping $1,000 for the year. Wow. And that's a 10% return. But $10,000, this whole movement started because I was willing to say, you know what? I can't possibly be the only person that is crazy about God, crazy about the kingdom, crazy about the prophetic, and also is into entrepreneurship. I can't be the only one. Let me see if there's anybody else like me. Well, how can you see in 2019, 2018, you can easily see. There's this thing called Facebook and Instagram. And you can tell Instagram and Facebook who you want them to see. You can see who's on the platform. So I was able to say, show me people that like Bill Johnson, Bethel, Chris Valentin, Sean Bowles, who like all these people, and also like all of this stuff. Digital marketing, entrepreneurship, blah, blah, blah. And then I could not believe it. Because Facebook will tell you the number of people in that target audience. It was like 430,000 people. I was like, here I was thinking I was all alone. Elijah, yeah. Lord, I'm the only prophet. He's like, Lord, I'm the only marketer that wants to honor you. Wrong. There's 400 just in America. And I was like, wow. So I took out my wallet. I did what a real entrepreneur does. I took out my wallet. I spent $3,000 running Facebook ads to talk to people I didn't know, to teach them all I knew for 30 days for free, with zero plans of ever making an offer or launching a business. $3,000 of Facebook ads is what started and launched this entire movement. Wow. And everything has just been reinvested since then. Someone I respect a lot is running a lot of ads right now saying, let's wage a war on debt. Wage a war on debt. Wage a war on debt. It's all about, so much of the Christian financial education is all about getting out of debt. Okay? Here's what's wrong with that. We're fighting the wrong battle. Because guess what? If you get out of debt, you know what that means? Now you're just broke. I got out of debt. Now my net worth is zero. I'm officially broke. Awesome. Who's excited about being broke? Now, at one point, I was excited about being broke. You know why? Because I was about 4 million below broke. So when you're 4 million in the hole, broke looks freaking amazing. I was like praying for broke. I would walk past bums and I'd be like, oh Lord, if I could just be like this guy. At least he's just broke. So broke is only awesome when you're like, woo, way below broke, okay? But so Pedro, are you saying debt's good? I'm just saying debt is debt. Debt is just debt. Debt does not mean you're in bondage. Debt does not mean you're in bondage. That's a lie. That's an oversimplification, which is what TV and radio personalities must do because they're giving mass market advice. So you have to oversimplify everything, dumb it way, way, way down. And then people blindly follow this because they're on the TV or radio, so they must know what they're talking about. So debt is not bondage. For some it can be, but for some it isn't. Here's when debt is bondage. If you owe $100,000, let's just say to the IRS, let's say you owe $100,000 to the IRS, okay? And you have $5,000 to your name. You owe this, and you have this. So now you have $100,000 debt, you have $5,000. Are you in debt? Are you in bondage? Yeah. 100%. You're in bondage, okay? But, same $100,000 bill comes from the IRS, and you got $500,000 sitting in your checking account. Are you in debt? Do you owe the IRS $100,000? Are you in bondage? No. You are only in bondage to debt if you can't make it go away whenever you want. So that needs to be written down, and that needs to become something that you just, I'm not in bondage to debt if I can make it go away whenever I want. Okay? Because sometimes borrowing is actually what makes the most financial sense. Because if it didn't, why do billionaires borrow money? You're a billionaire. Why are you borrowing money? It just sometimes makes sense. So the war shouldn't be on debt. The war should be on poverty and poverty thinking. I know a lot of people who paid off their credit cards who still think like a pauper and have poverty mindsets. And the more you focus on trying to get out of debt, I think the more you're going to develop a poverty mindset. That's the enemy. The poverty mindset is what puts you in bondage. Thinking like, it's so that to me, I want to see ads saying, let's wage a war on poverty thinking. That's the right war to win. Because when you win that war, you get everything. Yeah, of course you pay off the debt. You don't have any bad debt that you don't want to have. You can freely borrow responsibly when it makes sense. And you're prospering and making money. The best way I found to get out of debt, you guys want to know how I got out of debt? It's made a lot of money. I had more than I needed, so I was able to pay off this debt. Guess what's a lot more fun and exciting? Trying to figure out how to make more money is a lot more fun and exciting, especially as a kingdom entrepreneur, when you connect how you make money to serving, helping more people. Do you understand the only way I allow myself to make $1 is directly connected to serving someone in an amazing way? I don't make $1 if I have not created at least 10 times more value for someone else. So the more money I make, it's directly related to the good I'm doing. Directly correlated. You know what's so freeing about that? You can actually now set financial goals that pull you in the direction of your assignment. The world sets financial goals, and they're so committed to them that they'll do whatever it takes to hit that financial goal, which sometimes can mean a lot of unkingdom things. How many of you guys have ever been lied to by a salesperson or a business person? Okay? So when you set a goal outside of from a kingdom framework, you will end up abusing kingdom values and principles to achieve a financial goal. But once you are fully submitted and yielded to this kingdom framework, and your heart and mindsets are truly fixed on kingdom values, then literally build as big a business, make as much money as you want. Well, Pedro, some guy asked me this question. Pedro, how much money can a Christian make or should make? I thought it was a joke. I'm like, dude, are you for real? He's like, yeah. I said, well, do you believe that money follows value? I do. How much value should a Christian be able to add to the world? I don't know, Pedro. Maybe God only wants me to add this much value. That is so, of course not. So we have this mindset that God would allow us to add this much value, but somehow we're concerned about how much money might come. That makes no sense. Okay? So the war is not on debt. The war is on this poverty mindset, poverty thinking. And it's deeper than we all know. What I'm learning is many of us have more poverty thinking than we realize and more religious thinking than we realize. We're in a pretty free atmosphere. You guys notice that? Right? Even in a super free atmosphere like this, I still find at times that I've got some religious stuff I got to get rid of. Can I tell you why? When the kingdom shows up, there's nothing religious about the kingdom. Nothing. The kingdom is not religion. Religion is at war with the kingdom. The kingdom, the religious thinking, poverty thinking, political thinking, these are at war with the kingdom because all of those have agendas outside the agenda of God. Any agenda outside of the kingdom agenda is at war with the kingdom. So that to me is where we're focusing all of our 818 finance challenges is just, and I ask, sometimes I ask God things. And I'm like, God, what are you, why? Why? What are we doing this for? One of the things he told me is, there's a couple things he told me. Before the Dallas conference, I was like, Lord, what do you want to do with this conference? Like, what's going on? He told me this in the shower and I was broke. He said, I want you to ruin my people for the kingdom. Ruin my people for the kingdom. So when they taste of it and see what real kingdom looks like, they will be completely unwilling to settle for anything less. That was one thing he told me. Another thing he said was, son, I'm using you to break poverty off my church. That's the war worth winning. And getting out of debt can happen along the way. And doing all the other stuff happens along the way. Okay? Don't fight the wrong battle, win the wrong battle, and realize you lost the war.